These brief references to country case studies are representatives of a much larger empirical literature on the interactions between trade and education. The consensus is that income effects are large and always positive. But in countries that exploit the comparative advantage in low-skill employment, these gains may be tempered by a flattening of the skill premium. On balance, the beneficial income effects should dominate, but this will depend on other factors, especially the supply and price of educational services, as well as the specific conditions of communities in which children are raised. Both of these are subject to influences from educational policies and from a wide array of other policies. So, the bottom line for trade is that it will promote greater education under the right conditions, and that these conditions should be addressed with complementary policies. It is also important to note that today, education need not be provided solely at home. Increasingly, students from developing countries seek and find opportunities to study abroad, especially at upper secondary and tertiary levels. Foreign training, whether by students going abroad or through a foreign educational institution establishing a domestic campus, may be more cost-effective than domestic education at an equivalent level and quality. This is especially true when positive externalities associated with international interactions are taken into account. International educational services are just one example of rapidly expanding global trade in services that potentially enhance the supply and quality of education. The upper middle to high income groups of people in developing economies are the main beneficiaries of this development. With rapid improvements in internet-based communication and conferencing technology, international trade in educational services will become increasingly important in advancing domestic SDG targets. While trade in higher education can increase the supply of education, universal access and service policies may still be necessary to ensure that certain segments of society are not left unattended. This is particularly the case for developing countries where the basic education needs of the population may not have been fully met. Thus, to support SDGs in education, policies on trade in educational services must focus on both increasing the supply and reducing disparities in access. Thank you for listening. Please review the reference materials for this module in the reading list to extend your knowledge.